All right. Mr. Gonzalez, do you have any questions for the officer? You have anything you'd like to add?
No, I agree with what he's saying. Yeah, I will find a place already to move the RV until I get a permit.
Okay,
I'm
so
not
you
gonna bring it back until maybe I'm not bring it back to my house. I take it.
you're gonna remove it and place it someplace else?
Yeah, I already find a place that I put it there.
Okay, great. All right, sir. Um, so I do find that the violation does exist. I do find in favor of the city enter an adjudication. You have until November 28th. November 28th by which to resolve it. So it has to be gone
No,
by November
it's
28th.
already gone.
Oh, oh, it's gone?
Yeah, I had the permit.
Okay, show it to the officer. Okay, so you want me to table it so you can double check? Because I know you went on the first.
He can come by. I have picture of it. He can come by to my house. No problem.
Okay.
Speak into the mic, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, he can come by my house. I have picture
Yeah,
of
we
it
can
anyway. He can
table
come.
it. I'll come by. I'll go by and
Okay, so I'll table it and the officer is gonna go to investigate to make sure that it's not there.
Okay.
Okay, and then if it's not, you're in compliance, then he can close out the case. Okay? Good luck to you, sir. Thank you.
The next item is item number 3, Alejandro Cuervo. Shanna Sanders is the officer in the case number CERCV 2018-00112, case number 3.
Good evening. Please state
Good
your full
evening.
name, relationship to the property.
My name is Ana Cuervo. I'm one of the owners. I'm Alejandro's wife.
Okay.
Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. This is a new case for 12017 Exora Road for a boat that's parked on the side slash rear of the property that doesn't have an administrative variance. I'm gonna let the property owner give testimony. I'm at liberty to say I'm gonna ask for this to be tabled, but maybe she can verify. If I'm remembering correctly, she did submit an application for the administrative variance. The city has been working with her. I believe she spoke with Derek, someone from CP&D. But I do see here that she has submitted the application. I think she's waiting for some type of inspection from us. I'll let her give testimony to verify that because I see I made some small notes stating that variance has been submitted to the city. I know we spoke on the telephone and she said that Derek was supposed to be sending me an email of some sort. I don't know if he was asking me for an extension or telling me what was going on with the application. But again, this is for the boat that's on the property without an administrative variance. I'll let her explain what's going on if possible.
Yes.
Yes. As Shanna said, yesterday Derek
Okay.
Cook passed by my house and do a preliminary inspection.
Okay, he did do it.
And he sent to her, but he sent to me, so I have a copy here. That we are, in the middle of the process. Trying to do the best.
I was out Monday and Tuesday, so my re-inspections was for last week on Wednesday when the re-inspection was, so I didn't get this notice. I'm just gonna quickly read it over and then I'll pass it up to you. Okay, yeah. Yes, so as I'm passing that up, you can look it over. I quickly scanned through it, and I do see that Derek is stating that they're giving them a preliminary approval and that he's wishing to actually issue them the variance by, I think it said December 6th at the bottom of the letter. So if we can table this with hopes that the variance will be issued by then.
All right, if the,
You know, it does seem like the property owner is doing everything she can to obtain the variance. I guess, you know, now she's just waiting for the city to do its part.
all right, then, if we table it for 30 days, that's before the December 6th deadline. So
What's the
what
next
do you
hearing
wanna-
after that? December what, Pilar?
January 2nd.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought we had something on the 19th. So yeah, January is
Oh,
fine.
Wait a minute, you have, yeah, you do have. Okay, I was only going by my,
Okay, so
my
no, we could do
listing.
it for January. Hopefully by then it'll be, you know, she'll have the variance and we hopefully won't have to bring this back at all.
okay, so let's table it 60 days. All right, ma'am, thank you, let me give this back to you.
Thank
Pass
you.
this up to her, please. Good luck to you.
The next item is number 28, Felipe de Jesus Hernandez. Ernst Baptiste is the officer. The case number is CEOSV 2018-00060. Item number 28.
Good evening, please state your full name and relationship to the property.
Yenny Hernandez,
Okay.
part owner.
All right, thank you.
Ernst Baptiste, City North Miami Code Enforcement Officer. This is a case that was opened back in July 15 for oversized dump truck park on the property. I took pictures in July of the actual truck at the property, and I have recent pictures showing there is a bobcat, some dump truck still at the property. Certified mail was sent out, and on October 15, I posted the property, and I have a picture to show the owner.
Mm-hmm. All right. Ma'am, do you understand the violation?
Yes.
Okay. Do you understand what you need to do to resolve it?
Yes.
Okay. Are you guys doing construction as well
We're
on the
putting-
property?
We were putting gravel in the back.
I'm sorry, speak up.
We were putting gravel in the back.
Okay. But in addition to that, is,
Those items are stored at the property. They're always
okay,
there.
that's my question. These are basically these stays on the property while you're doing the gravel and the construction?
Yes.
And how long has this been going on?
You can see the first picture. It says 7 on July.
Since July?
July, and I took those pictures this
These.
week.
So if you've had these on your property since July,
No.
based on the officers, there's 1, 2, 3. Are there more than one?
More than one, yes. They are parked in the rear of the property. Actually, I don't know if they were putting gravel sometimes, but I know they have a landscape business, and probably those are material that they use for their work, but they store them. Those items are parked in the rear of the property all the time.
All right, so then there's more going on. There's more to the story than what I'm being told, because I'm trying to understand why these
They are
huge
stored
trucks
there.
would
They're
be
parked
stored
there.
on the
Yeah.
property if
No.
all they're doing is putting gravel
They're
on.
not storing the property. They only are there sometimes when they're too late, we get caught in traffic. They're parked down in Homestead. We have a property down there in Homestead where we park all those cars.
I don't know. Based on the evidence presented and the testimony of the code enforcement officer, I find that the violation does exist. I find in favor of the city enter an adjudication. Ma'am, I'm giving you until November 28th by which to resolve the violation. Should the violation not be resolved by the abatement date, ma'am, I will place a daily fine amount of $500. The officer will go back just to investigate to make sure that they have been removed. You said you have another property where you can store them. So if we have to come back here on the 5th, on December 5th, and I find that this violation continues, then there will be a daily fine amount of $500. You understand?
Yes,
Okay. Good luck to you.
thank you.
The next item on the agenda is item number 57, George Perez. Rahima Golding is the officer, and the case number is CETMK 2018-00018, item 57.
Good evening, sir. Please state your full name and relationship to the property.
Good evening, George Perez. I'm the owner, 12801 Griffin Boulevard.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. City of North Miami Co-Compliance Officer Rahima Golding. This property was was cited back in August for boulders that are located in the swell area. The property was posted in October 2nd of 2018, and as of that date, the boulders still remain. I have the photos if you'd like to see.
All right. Since August,
August 31st.
are they still there?
Yes, because the actual violation is for traffic markers prohibited. And I spoke to the inspector September 18th, 17th or something. And in my opinion, it's decorative stone. And if you look at the actual violation 1722, you can park there. It's not I'm not preventing anybody from parking. And then she stated that she spoke to her supervisor, and the determination was made that it's a hard substance. If you read the whole ordinance under the Mooney Code, that it's either, let me get the actual.
I have it, I'll read it.
Yeah. So
It
was-
states that it shall be unlawful to install or place within dedicated rights-of-way of the city any pyramid-type concrete traffic markers or any other hard material markers or other similar devices.
And
Your
my-
Honor, I'll direct you to if you go to the beginning of that section 17-22 specifies that there are certain markers which are permitted, and it describes specifically which type of traffic markers are permitted in the swale areas and the rights of way. So option 1 would be dome-type traffic markers that do not exceed 12 inches in diameter and 6 inches in height. They also have as an alternate to dome markers, railroad ties.
My contention is that it's not, I'm sorry if I interrupted. It's not a traffic marker.
Okay, go ahead.
And I have pictures. I live on Griffin Boulevard. There's 4 pocket parks, 3 on Griffin Boulevard and 2 on Northeast 3rd Avenue, which is directly to the east of me. And I brought some pictures. I was just trying to beautify the area in front of my house. And I just followed the cities about 3 or 4 years ago in District 3 that did the upgrading of the parks. And I have some pictures, and I discussed this with the inspector. I mean, if it's determined that there are traffic markers, which I don't believe there are, and I have to remove them, I guess I even tried getting a permit. And if you go to the city, I printed out the landscape application, and it's decorative stone. You need a permit to plant a tree. You have to have irrigation. You have to have a site plan. There's nothing that says decorative stone. And I have pictures. I mean, I'm not, if I can hand it to the inspector.
Sure, you can show, okay, these are not on your property.
No,
You're
this
saying
is
this,
on my street.
okay. Here's the issue that I have here.
Okay.
This is the swell area and people are allowed to park
Correct.
in this.
Yes.
The boulders that you have here, and you said that they can still park.
Yes, I have pictures from
How
the
do you
site.
figure that they can still park based on the way that they're placed?
I park, if I could show you this picture, it's a different angle. I have a Dodge 3500 pickup truck, and if you come from the north, which I park, you get back up into the parking spot, into the swell area, because I park there.
I don't, okay, show us with your photos. Let me review them.
These photos are back and front. And like I said, I'm trying to get a permit for it, because if you read the actual code, if it would be a berm, you could go, you get it's a permit with the Public Works Department, and you have to get a hold harmless from the city. But it doesn't mention nothing about decorative stone. And it's not a berm, it's not rail ties. So if I gotta remove it, I remove it. I mean, but I'm just curious. I haven't had a chance to go down to the city because I got a new job, and I've been like, working side. It's front and back too, if you can see. It's native Cape Coral from Ocala.
The top photo is in front of his property where he was stating, I guess, he would park his vehicle.
Or any vehicles. I have a full-size truck, and there's white sand there, and I unloaded the sand from the back of my truck, the bed. Like I say, I really don't want to remove it, but if it's determined that I have to, I'm just going to have to.
I don't recall exactly where it states it, but there is a place in the code where decorative stone or rocks, they have to be well maintained, but that
Yeah.
pertains to on private property.
Property, yeah.
In this case, this is a swale.
And that's the
12-33.
city's concern. I think that the reason section 1722 was adopted by the city is because of the fact that it is not private property. These are rights of way, they're swales. Their primary use is for parking of vehicles, so it is in the city's interest to regulate what is to be placed in those areas. And I don't think that the city council would have been very specific about which type of materials and how they should be shaped for no reason. I do believe that it is the intention of the city to regulate those areas. And if decorative stone was one of the options or ideals of the city council at the time, they would have specified that as one of the exceptions.
They're beautiful stones, but you probably need to remove them and place them closer to the front of your property. I do find that the violation exists. I find in favor of the city enter an adjudication. I'm giving you until November 28th by which to resolve the violation. Should the violation not be resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $250.
Ms. Magistrate,
Yes?
In speaking with this resident here, Mr. Perez, I know that it's going to take him a little bit more time to get that done if need be, because it's according to him it was really expensive to have them have them moved. So I'm asking for
60?
for 60 days, please.
All right, so that brings us
Thank you.
to December 26th.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir.
Eh,
December.
Can I have if I could get a permit if I go down? Because there is a procedure for the rail ties. If I go talk to the building department or community development and they give me a permit.
I mean, well, you have 60 days, so within
Okay.
those 60 days, if
You
you're
can do-
allowed to, then
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Okay, good luck to you, sir.
The next item is item number 90. Zai Xian. Shanna Sanders is the officer. The property is 1915 Northeast 124th Street. Case number CERCV 2018-00105, item number 90.
Come forward, ma'am. State your full name and relationship to the property.
Good evening. My name is Eileen Chan. I'm the owner of the property.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami, Code Compliance Officer. This is a new case that was cited, that was originally cited July 2nd. Have not had any contact with the property or any agents from the property. I sent a couple of letters in August. I sent another letter in September. Didn't have any contact with anyone, so went ahead and filed it for the magistrate so that it can appear tonight. As of today, the boat still remains parked at the property. This is for a boat that's parked at a property that doesn't have an administrative variance. I am showing here that I made a notation that the variance was submitted, seems like it was submitted on the 12th of September. Has anyone from the city contacted you in reference to this variance, or have you spoke with anyone in reference to this application?
Yes, I think the reference application submitted on the August the 10th, and this case has been processed, and we got the preliminary approval from Mr. Derek Cook on November the 5th. That's the
Oh,
email. I mean,
Monday.
that's the letter. It's supposed to be sent by certified mail, but this is the copy they emailed to us. I also have the email in my phone, so.
Okay, what I'm looking at here is a letter from Derek Cook. I asked her, did she receive this, seeing the time frame that she submitted this application. I'm showing here that he wished to have this done, or he was having this done by October. October 27th, I'm seeing it stated by the 5th, but it says, please give her an extension until October 27th, which has come and gone. So, I mean, maybe there's a error in the typing. Maybe he meant November. Maybe he meant December. I'm not sure, but the letter here
What
dated,
is
I'll pass
dated?
it up. The letter here is dated for November 5th, which was Monday, and it's asking that we give time for October 27th. I'll pass it up so you can take a look at it. Maybe, again, it's an error on zoning's part. But, yeah. At the bottom of the letter, it says something about October 27th, that he's wishing to have this done by, so to give her a little time. Again, I'm going to assume that maybe there's an error on the city's part. I don't mind giving her time, seeing that she has submitted the application. I know she said something about the August. I'm showing here that a notation I made on the 12th saying that administrative variance has been applied for. In this pending review, I will recheck in a week or two to see if variance has been issued. Per that letter, it does show as though there working on something with zoning, so I am willing to give them time as well.
All right, based on the information or the evidence provided, I will table it for, yeah, I'm going to assume since it's dated November 5th, that the deadline is probably December 27th as opposed to October 27th, which is listed here. So so that's 60 days, right?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Mm.
All right, ma'am. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
The next item is item number 12, Bertrand Remillion. Ernst Baptiste is the officer in the case number CEODS 2018-00160, item number 12.
Good evening, sir. Please state your full name and relationship to the property.
My name is Bertrand Remillion. My address is 1510 Northwest 128th Street.
Thank you, sir.
Miami.
Ernst Baptiste, City of Miami Code Enforcement Officer. This is a case that was opened back in July 20th for item stored outside under the carport. I'm showing a sofa and other item pile up under the carport. Mail certified was sent out to the property about the violation, and I posted the property on October 16, 2018. I have pictures. Yes.
Mr. Remillion, do you understand the violation, sir?
Yes.
Okay. And you know what you need to do to resolve it, correct?
But I already take everything. I just make the picture this afternoon to show you.
Okay, you removed it?
I move everything.
Okay, show it to the officer.
I have 3 pictures in that thing. I already moved everything.
Okay. Do you want time to go back and
Sure.
sir?
Yes.
All
yes,
right,
yes.
so let's table it. The officer's gonna come back around to make sure that you are in fact in compliance. And if you are, then he can close out the case. If not, you're gonna come back here, at which time I will make a ruling. If I find that the violation still exists, I will make a ruling and issue a daily fine amount.
All right, thank you.
All right, sir, good luck to you.
Thank you.
The next item is item number 13715 Holdings LLC. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer. The case number is CESIP 2018-00042, item number 1.
Who's the, do we have a name? 13715 Holdings LLC. Is anyone here? Pass it.
The next item is item number 81, 82, and 83 for San Souci Apartments. Vanessa Willis is the officer. The first case number is MHVIO 2018-00259, item number 81.
Good evening. Please state your full name and relationship to the property.
Nancy Verga, I'm the property manager.
Thank you.
Good evening. City of North Miami Code Compliance, Vanessa Willis. The first case, MHVIO 2018-00259, it's a new case. It's in reference to the building needing paint. To date, and I did go by, they are working, but they're not finished with the building, so they are not in compliance.
The Hartzell Painting, which I have a copy of the contract with us, they are expected to complete on or before the 19th of November, weather permitting. But they are actively working, and we expect it to be finished in that time frame.
All right. Based on the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. I give you until November 28th
Thank
by
you.
which to resolve the violation. Should the violation not be resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $250.
Okay. Next case, MHVIO 2018-00260. This is to resurface the parking lot and to also restripe. Went by the property today, and they are not in compliance.
So we do have a contract with Atlantic Southern Paving. There are 3 buildings involved in the same area, so we are actually dealing with all 3 buildings, the same 2 major issues. Atlantic Southern Paving, we are under contract. They are putting in for the permits. We are on their schedule for the last week of November if the permits are turned around that quickly. If not, they will, continue to move us through their process. I would respectfully request that we at least go till December 26th to give them time to get the permits. The work would be completed within 3 days. The issue is the permits.
All right. Based on the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. I'll give you 60 days. Well, I don't know if it adds up to 60 days, but December 26th by which to resolve the violation. Should the violation not be resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $500.
Okay. And Special Magistrate, finally, the last one is for Building 1775, file number MHVIO 2018-00349. And this, again, is for the same as the other building, which is to blacktop and restripe the parking lot area paving.
I'm assuming it's the same issue. I'll let the 2 cases basically ride together. I think the first one I gave you 30 days, right?
Yes,
Was with the
which
paint.
should be
That was,
sufficient.
the 30 was for the painting and 60 for the paving.
Okay. So enter an adjudication, a fine in favor of the city, and 500, 60 days. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is 46 and 47 Hans Jean Baptiste. The officer is Karen Jean Lewis. The first case number is CEGEF 2018-00003, item number 46.
Did you say 46 and 47, right?
Yes.
Good evening, sir. Please state your full name and relationship to the property.
Good evening, Your Honor. Hans Jim Baptiste. I'm the owner.
Okay.
Good evening, Code Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. I'm going to start off with CEGEF 2018-00003. Mr. Hans was cited to install a dumpster enclosure for his dumpster that's located at the rear of the property. I spoke to him prior, and he was supposed to work on getting the dumpster enclosure installed. However, after speaking to him, he suffered an injury which prevented him from getting the work done. And he did apply for the permit, but it just hasn't been approved as of yet. And as far as the sign, he's working with the CRA to get a grant in order to put in the sign, all of which I was made aware this evening. So,
What are you requesting?
to table it, because he has to get the permit for the dumpster enclosure. He applied for it, but it hasn't been approved. And also for the grant, I'm not sure when the Community Planning Development Department is going to issue the grant for him to replace the sign.
And how long you're asking to table these 2 cases?
60 days.
All right, tabled for 60 days. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thanks.
The next item is item number 13, Sheena Scott. Jose Perez is the officer, and the case number CEODS 2018-00148, item number 13.
Good evening, sir. Please state your full name in relationship to the property.
Anthony Scott. I'm the caretaker of the house.
Okay.
I'm sorry, which one was this?
Item number 13, Sheena Scott, 245 Northeast 124 Street.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
City of North Miami Code Enforcement Officer Perez. This is in reference to the property. At the property, they are storing on the outside skirts miscellaneous things such as plywood, and they have also stored jet ski trailers in the past. The property had been warned prior to that, and they removed the plywood, but then they went ahead and placed jet ski trailers. They received a NOV for that, and they disregarded the NOV, as documented by the pictures.
Sir, do you understand the violation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how long do you need to be in compliance?
I actually moved all of the stuff today. It was only the jet ski trailers left, and I took them out.
All right. Do you have photographs? Do you have anything to
I
show to
didn't
the
have
officer?
time to take any photographs, to be honest. But I mean, if he comes back and check, there's nothing there.
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to enter an adjudication, meaning that I do find that the violation exists. I find in favor of the city and enter an adjudication. The officer is gonna come by to verify that you are in compliance, and if you are, then he can close the case. If not, then we'll be back here on December 5th. If you are not in compliance, then on December 5th, you will have a daily fine amount of $150. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir. Good luck to you.
The next item is item number 48, Hiles Property. Shanna Sanders is the officer, and the case number CEEXP 2018-00095, item 48.
Who's speaking? Good evening. Please state your full name in relationship to the property.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Viveros, and I'm with the contractor, and this is the property owner.
My name is Paulo. I don't speak English. Can she translate for me?
What language do you speak?
Portuguese.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, would the officer go?
Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. This is a new case for a property that has some siding that needs to be replaced. Seems as though maybe, I don't know if there was some kind of construction that was going on there, or maybe some damage or something, maybe after the hurricane. I'm really not sure, but long story short, the siding along the property needs to be replaced. I did speak to the property owner a couple of times, and as you see, there is a language barrier, but I also spoke with the contractor, or at least the contract runner. She came to the office and we had a conversation. She did show me in the back before the hearing that she has obtained a permit. So what she's asking for in the city, I don't mind, I can agree to it. If you don't mind, we can give an extension. She obtained the permit, I think she said it's good for
Until February 11th.
February 11th. I'm hoping it doesn't take for February 11th to get this work completed. But since she has obtained a permit to replace the siding, I'm at will to at least give her an extension or give them an extension that coincides with the time frame of when the permit expires.
That's at least, was this 120 days? 190 days?
Yeah, I mean, I can show pictures if you would like to see, so you can see what the condition of the property looks like. But I think it would be, well, I don't want to say that on record, but I'll let you, decide what you would like to do. But
Okay,
seeing that
pass
she
them
has a
forward.
It does show in the pictures that they've already started to replace some of the siding, but I'll let the contractor explain what's going on or let her give testimony as to why she's asking for so much time.
Okay, so when we received the notice in regards to the violation, that there was no work being conducted, I was addressed to come and speak with Ms. Sanders, and I did meet with her, and we spoke with the contractor as well, informing her that work has already started being conducted on the property. So in that time frame, we were advised that she would go ahead and look by the property again, and as long as it was in compliance of work already being conducted, it would be okay. We later did receive the notice to appear, so that's why we were coming here, because we do have the permit for the work that's being done. The description is wire lath stucco around the house, and it was pulled for August 15, 2018, and if we can just have until February 11, 2019. It wouldn't be until then that the work will be completed. It'll be done way before that, but if we can just have an extension, that way if she was to pass by the property once it be completed, it would be in compliance.
So why don't we table it for 90 days?
I'm good with even 60, but okay. 90 is fine.
You told me to coincide with the permit,
Yes.
which is in February, and now you're telling me 60. We'll
No, I'm
table it for
fine with 90.
days. All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
The next item is item number 26, Eleanor Ducasse. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer in the case number CEFAW 2018-00225, item 26.
Good evening, ma'am. Please state your full name in relationship to the property.
My name is Eleanor Ducase, the owner of the property.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good evening, Co-Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. On July 19th, the property was cited to paint the discolored chipped iron fence by the reinspection date. On the reinspection date, I went by and the gate was not painted. The notice to appear was posted to the property, and as of today, it still remains that the iron fence is peeling and it needs to be painted.
Can I see the photos?
Oh, sorry.
Show them to her.
Yeah, I didn't get that one.
All right. Do you understand the violation?
Yes, I understand the violation. Like I was just telling her, I didn't get that I was out of town. And I know previously I was told to paint the roof and everything in the house. I did that. Unfortunately, the hurricane had the wind shed on the edging of the house. So I know that needs to be done. I was out of town, so I never received that in my mailbox. At least I never received it. When I came in, I just recently saw one, but I didn't see that one.
What do you mean you recently saw one, but not?
It was the grass or something like that, edging, something like that. I did get that done.
On July 19th, when I sat at her property, I sat at her for the fence, overgrown grass, and also the fascia board. But the grass has been cut since then, and the case for the fascia boards has not been scheduled for magistrate hearing.
But that right now, to say what's going with it right now, I had paid for everything to get done, and then I realized what's going on is that the AC water is getting between some of the water. So I went myself this week because I thought that they should have scraped the wall before they painted, and they didn't. So I took it upon myself to go and scrape that and the fence. So it's looking worse now than it was. But due to the weather, and I have to prime it, it's been a more delay. So I'm asking for extension, please.
All right, based on the evidence presented, I find the violation exists. I find in favor of the city and enter an adjudication. I'm giving you 60 days, so I wish to
Can I
resolve
have
the
more than
problem.
that, please? Seeing that I know we're gonna have weather coming up next week. Because I have to prime it first. When I go with the prime, I cannot paint it right after that being metal. Because also I scraped the wall that was painted, that you saw was painted before. That's not even painted no more because I realized that water is still getting down there. Because they shift the AC and it worked for like 2 days, and I see it's still doing that. And so what I did upon myself, like I said, I went there. So if you go back there, it's going to be worse. Because I took it upon myself to scrape off the paint that they put there.
I'm only dealing with the fence. I'm not dealing with anything else today.
Okay.
So for that, I'm giving you 60 days. And so you have until December 26th. And if it's not resolved by then, I will see you on January 2nd. The daily fine amount is $200.
Okay.
Good luck to you, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Photos.
The next item is item number 78, Marion Properties. Karen Jean Lewis is the officer. The case number is CEZCU 2018-00004, item number 78.
Good evening. Please state your full name and relationship to the property.
My name is Jean Augustine. I'm the manager of the property.
Sir?
Jean Augustine. I'm
I-
the manager of the property.
Got it. I was referring to. State your full name for the record, please.
Stephen Gagnon, I'm the caretaker.
Okay.
It's under properties. Look under P.
Good evening, Co-Compliance Officer Karen Jean Lewis. On September 18, 2018, I received a complaint, actually, and the complaint and also, do I have it here? No. I received a complaint from the police department in reference to a gentleman who purchased a car at this property, and he was having a civil dispute as far as payment and receiving a car. So when I pulled up the property in our system, I noticed that they're operating a business without a license. Hence the reason why I cited them for the certificate of use, and I told them to obtain the business tax receipt and certificate of use in order to operate the business. When I went back to re-inspect the property, I made contact with the tenant who was there, and he advised that his business is not operated here in North Miami. It's off of 7th Avenue. I'm not sure if that's the city of Miami's area or Miami-Dade County, but he stores vehicles at that property. And I told him in order to continue to do so, he needed to get the proper permitting. They applied for it, but it hasn't been approved.
All right, Mr. Forgot, Gene?
Yes, I already applied for it. It's not being approved. I got the receipt, got it and everything. Miami-Dade fire inspection, I got everything.
All right, so when was it approved? Oh, I'm sorry. When did you apply?
And it was
November the 5th is when they applied for it.
Okay, that's Monday. Okay. And, they've been in operation since September?
They've been in operation longer than this. The previous zone officer, Monica Frederick, cited them last year for the same violation, and nobody made contact or attempted to do anything. And when I received the complaint from the police department, I went and I noticed it's the same business, yet nothing was done.
There was not me, officer. I was here like last July.
Speaking to the mic.
July, I was here in July.
July 2018 or?
Yes, July 2018.
You're saying you have been the owner of this part of this business since July 2018?
I was managed July 18.
Oh, you've been the manager of the business from July 2018?
We moved there in July 18. We moved there.
Okay. But you said this business was cited.
Yes, the previous code officer, Monica Frederick, cited them for the same thing because they were storing cars back then as well. It's still the same property owner. I don't know if the tenant may have been different, but it was still the same violation for the vehicles being stored with the business that they didn't have the proper licensing for.
All right. Based on the evidence presented by the code enforcement officer and the testimony presented, I find that the violation does exist. I find in favor of the city and enter an adjudication. I know you guys applied for the certificate of use and the business tax receipt.
Yes.
You only just applied for it on Monday, so.
There was a bit of delay because the property owner is in New York, and the documents had to be original documents sent to New York and then certified and sent back. And there was an issue with the fire inspection. The fire inspector had to come out twice to the property. The first was he put the exit signs in, and then the fire inspector told him that you had to put in also emergency lights. So he applied for it on Monday, but he had to go through all the process to get there. And it was difficult because he had to send, like I say, the distance with the out-of-state property owner.
All right, so 30 days. All right, intern adjudication, I'll give you till November 28th. If
The owner, I don't know if you can extend it for 60 days because I have to go to vacation, please.
Then he would have to show up for you on your behalf because I need to know what's going on with that. You guys waited a long time to apply.
So since the certificate is in process, we just have to have 30 days for them to approve it. Is that what I understand?
Your citation is that they apply.
that they needed to apply to obtain the certificate of use. They don't even have it. They have the application in the system, but it hasn't been approved.
So we're waiting for approval.
I understand, but the citations say apply, not approve. Or obtain, does it say obtain a certificate of use? It says please apply for the certificate of use prior to reinspection.
You're right, Special Magistrate. The
All right.
wording is off. It should have been to obtain the permit. Yeah.
All right. What do you want to do?
Well, they still need to get it. So even though I messed up on the wording, they still have to have it in order to continue. Because if not, another violation is going to be open and they'll be back here again.
Okay. But if I'm going to rule on this, this tells them to apply for the certificate of use and business tax receipt, and they've applied. All right, I'm gonna table it 30 days so you
Okay.
can, all right, 30 days.
What do we need to do in the meantime, Your Honor?
That's a good question. Follow up with the city for your certificate of use and tax receipt, business tax receipt. All right?
Thank you very much.
All right, and stay in touch with the code enforcement officer once you get it. Good luck to you.
The next item is item number 30, Francois Gideon. Rahima Golding is the officer in the case number CEEXP 2018-00013, item number 30.
Good evening, sir. Please state your full name and relationship to the property.
Yes, I'm sorry, Gideon's 520 Northwest 143 Street, North Miami, Florida.
All right, sir. Are you with him? State your name for the record.
Marlene Raymond,
Marlene,
assisting.
that second time.
Huh?
My name is Marlene Raymond. I'm assisting my father. I'm helping him with this situation that we're going.
Okay. All right. Does Dad need a translator? Vous voulez interprète?
Francois Gideon? Francois.
Senior North Miami Code Compliance Officer Rahima Golding. His property was cited April 2018, requesting to have the property power washed and painted. I've been speaking with Mr. Gideon. I know that he has had he was in communication with his insurance company, and he just provided to me today the approval. So he's waiting on the check to be issued to him, so that he could pay for the painting of his property.
All right. Okay, so he has not received a check from the insurance company as
He
yet?
has not received it as yet, but he did receive the approval letter and stating that the check would be sent separately.
Okay, that's what he's showing? Okay, that's what you have? Got it. So what are you requesting?
Requesting, I would say 60 days. That should give him enough time to receive the check and get the color approval and get the work done.
All right, sir. Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. All right, table is 60 days?
The roof, everything, she goes fix it.
All right.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Bye-bye.
The next item is item number 11, Bayview Towers condo. Rahima Golding is the officer, and the case number is MHVIO 2018-00328, item number 11.
Number 11.
Good evening, Your Honor. Kelly Canfield on behalf of Bayview Condo Association.
Good evening. That we usually take attorneys out of turn. Did you sign in?
My client signed in.
She was tardy, so she didn't come in on time. So I think that's what happened. She missed it.
Okay.
City of North Miami Co-Compliance Officer Rahima Golding. Last time we were here, it was stated that you wanted them to have their each side had to have their professionals inspect.
I remember this case.
The
Okay,
units
now I
and the
do.
pool pump room. And it has been relayed to me by Ms. Canfield here that the pool pump has been installed with a timer, so it is to turn on and off within certain hours.
Okay.
The resident is still having issues, from what I'm understanding, and would like to speak.
Okay. Say that one more time. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Hi, good night. Bueno, el día del último hearing,
On the last hearing,
llegamos a un acuerdo en que ellos iban a colocar un timer. Ellos visitaron mi apartamento con mi experto.
we agreed that they were going to install a timer. Excuse me. And they visited my apartment
Con mi experto que está presente.
with my expert who is present here.
Por medio de emails dijeron que lo iban a colocar y hasta el momento de hoy no lo han colocado.
Through emails, we were informed that they were going to install it, but so far they have not.
Bueno, me gustaría que escuchara a mis testigos, que es la persona que me ha ayudado con mi inglés, mi socio y mi técnico.
And I would like for you to hear the testimony of my witnesses. Who one is the person who has helped me with the English, and also my expert.
Okay. Who?
My expert. Arnold.
Okay. All right.
Her name is Arnold. Her name is Arnold. His name is Arnold. He is my technician. Thank you.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Arnold Villar with DKV Consulting Services. We had about a month ago, we had a meeting, and during that meeting, it was agreed that that timer was going to be installed on a pool pump. Now, I understand that the timer was installed. Now, this could be a real simple fix. It might just not be turned on. So if if the timer was installed, all they got to do is just program it.
The
So I'm not
timer
sure
was what the installed problem and would it was programmed, and it turns off at 9 p.m. and turns back on at 6 a.m.
Okay. So.
Okay.
Okay. Nunca fui notificada de que de que hubieran colocado el timer. Yo sigo escuchando el ruido.
I was never notified of the timer installation. I'm still listening the noise.
Y además habíamos quedado en acordar las horas, no impuestas por ellos, sino acordadas aquí hoy, el día de hoy.
And also we agreed on the hours, but not the hours that they wanted, but on agreement here.
What do we mean? I'm not clear about that. Okay. State your name for the record.
Felipe Garcia. She's my business associate, and I've been helping her through this process because she doesn't speak English.
Mhm.
So I've been present all the time, every time they've been to her apartment, and actually contacting the expert. They actually, after you actually force them to allow her expert, if you remember that, to get into the pump room, they had this meeting. The expert actually had several solutions. Many of them were very expensive, and she accommodated these individuals, so they didn't have to spend that much money. Yet, they said, okay, we're going to go with the timer, and they have not installed it because the vibration is still there at all times. Also, after they agreed to do so, they said that a pool technician would go there, and I have that in writing, establish the times. So she never came, or they never came back with the times, and we said that should be decided by the magistrate, because they seemed to challenge her authority, because that was 3 weeks ago, and they didn't do anything. I mean, and this problem has been going on for years. I've been involved here in 6 months, and these people just buy time and buy time and buy time. So it's really outrageous to have this woman suffer from this problem, and these people just buy time, and you can see that. I mean, in email they admitted they had a problem, they would solve it, a very cheap solution, and yet they don't do it. Why? Because they don't care. I mean, they make a mockery of this process by doing so. So I mean, it's really important that they actually be forced to do so, and in certain times. In a ruling where the times are set, Ms. Santofimio suggested that was between 8 p.m. and 7 a.m., and they never came back to us with the technician's position or opinion, and they just stopped writing, and then we're here. So basically that's the situation as I have seen it. And I was there while they have their expert and Ms. Santofimio's expert in the premises, and the expert agreed that was the best solution and the cheapest solution for the association.
Which is the timer, the
Which is
pool
the
timer.
timer.
Okay,
So,
Counselor.
Your Honor, I'm going to walk you through this very quickly. In the spring, the association replaced the pump. Then we also, in the past few months, we soundproofed the pool pump room. At the last hearing, we quickly had an inspection with the experts, and we decided and agreed to install the pool pump timer, which I've been in correspondence with Officer Golding on this. We had some pushback. This is the second time the association had asked the pool company to install one, and they said that they couldn't, and that it was a violation of a health code. I couldn't find that code anywhere, so I spoke with Officer Golding, and she was kind enough to speak to the legal department to confirm that we indeed could install it. And once that was cleared, we installed it. And the times were never agreed upon because we needed to find out what times were permitted under the law. And so we can extend it to 7 a.m. I have to check about the 8 p.m. But there's no problem with us switching it to 7 a.m., turning it off at 9 p.m. and switching it to 7 a.m. But we have been extremely diligent and taken this very serious.
And what do you have it now? What does it say?
It's at 9 p.m. and it turns back on at 6 a.m.
6 a.m. is probably a little too early for, 6 a.m. is probably a little early.
We spoke with them and they said that they could switch it to 7 a.m. So.
Okay. All right, ma'am, you're saying that even with the timer, it's not working? You can still feel the vibration?
Aún con el timer instalado todavía siente la vibración.
Ok, yo en las noches sigo sintiendo un poco, ya no tanto como antes, pero la sigo sintiendo. Yo no estaba notificada del timer igual lo seguía sintiendo.
Well, I'm still can listen at night, not as much, but I was not notified about the timer installation.
What are the hours or we're talking about? Because it is turned off at 9.
Bueno, yo pienso que de 8 de la noche por lo menos hasta las 7 de la mañana.
I would say at least from 8 p.m. until 7 a.m.
You can still feel the vibration between the hours of...
Ok, bueno, tengo un sueño muy sensible, lo siento en la madrugada, at any time.
Well, I have a very light sleep. I can feel it early in the morning.
Well, what's early in the morning?
¿Qué hora sería temprano en la mañana?
4 o 5 de la mañana.
Like 4 or 5 a.m.
Yes.
Yes. No, I mean, I'm sorry because I'm going to force her expert.
Because I want to hear from the expert.
Yes. Okay. No, it's probably necessary to have another visit to the premises to make sure that the timer is there, that the expert goes there and makes sure the timer is working properly. Because, I mean, given the experience we have in this case, remember, you have to force them to allow the expert to go in there. So I think it's relevant to do so.
Sure. So you were present with their expert, so you were able to hear the vibration, and you made a recommendation that they put a timer in, and that's supposed to alleviate the problem, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
And by the way, the timer would shut off the pump, so there shouldn't be no issues.
Right. So that's not what happened?
That's exactly what's happening every night. If there's, this is the first that I've heard that there's a persistent problem, you know, since the timer's been installed. If they want to come out and take a look at it, I don't think we have an objection to that. However, it does seem like we've jumped through a lot of, you know, steps here for, when you look at this as a condominium building where Mrs. Santafimo purchased a unit on top of a pool pump room. And so, you know, there is, when you purchase, you know, buyer beware, but at the same time, we have been taking as many steps as possible to try to make sure to keep, you know, her so that she's not having problems sleeping and so forth. So we are taking all the steps that we can. At the same time, there has been a lot of contentious correspondence on their end that hasn't made it desirable to constantly reach out. And so, but we have taken all the steps that we agreed to take as of our last inspection. And I coordinated that and had that set up immediately after the hearing. So we have been diligent.
I just have to, I think it's very relevant to mention this. They were proposing that Ms. Santofino sign an agreement where they basically denied any wrongdoing. So that was something that, you know, it wasn't up to her because that's an obligation they have with the city. So that was the response. So maybe because of that correspondence she's talking about, they felt that they didn't want to get back to us, but they did not inform about the installation of the timer or any other.
When was it
steps.
installed?
It was installed in the pool pump room in the pool
No,
pump.
I'm saying when.
When?
What
It
date?
was installed, I believe, on Monday. They came out last week, and then they installed it finally on Monday. But we have been going through the process to ensure that it was compliant. We didn't want to put it in place because there are other options and go through that entire process if it was indeed in violation of a code. And then get another citation. So we were just trying to take all of the measures to make sure that to ensure that we were doing this properly. As far as the stipulation, I just want to touch on that. All we wanted to do, and I never sent a proposed stipulation, was to enter into an agreement saying that we had installed the pool pump. That was it. I wasn't trying to make them waive their rights, and I think I made that pretty clear in my email, but I never prepared one because there was some pushback, and I thought, this isn't worth getting into. But that's just typically with any sort of legal matter, you have a stipulation that you put into some sort of place saying, the association acknowledges this issue and this is what they've done, you know, so.
All right. You do understand that it was just installed, the owner? It was installed on Monday. Are you telling us, is this your testimony here from, what's today? Wednesday. Okay. Yesterday, Monday and yesterday between the hours of, say, 9:15 and 5:30, you were still able to feel the vibration, because we're not talking prior to.
Esta mañana casualmente lo sentí.
Yes, I felt it this morning.
Yo me despierto todos los días 4:30, 5 de la mañana.
Okay, what's this morning? What time this morning?
¿A qué hora esta mañana?
Que todos los días me despierto 4:30, 5.
Every morning I wake up at 4:35 a.m.
Esta mañana yo sentí, cuando me levanté, sentí el ruido y la vibración.
This morning when I woke up, I felt the noise and the vibration.
All right, so we'll probably need to, are you able to basically meet with their expert again and see what's missing here? Because if you, in your expert opinion, your expertise determined that the timer is supposed to shut off the pump, You know, we're learning a lot here about this. So the reason for the noise and the vibration is the pool pump, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now if we shut it off, then there shouldn't be any noise or vibration.
That's correct. Although there is an air handler underneath in that same area, but I don't think that's the cause of the noise. I think it's actually the pump itself, the pool pump. That should relieve the problem. Now, it was installed on Monday, but if she's feeling it this morning, it could have been that they just didn't, place the timer at the correct times. So I think.
So
it's a
can we?
simple-
Are
it's a
we
simple
able?
site visit.
Okay.
Just
So
look at it.
can we just can we see about that?
We can, and I know they checked on it today and said that it had turned off at 7 a.m., but we can, well, I don't have an objection to taking that extra measure, and I just want to, state that as, I don't know what we can do other than that. We're taking all the steps that we can possibly take. We've been willing to work with them, and we're happy to set something very soon, and in the next couple of days or next week,
Just to make sure that it's set up,
Yeah.
Correctly, the right time, and go from there, because
Right. And we can, we can show up, 5 minutes till 7 and just watch the pump turn off. I mean,
Okay.
that's something, it's really quite simple to do.
Okay. All right. Will that work for you?
That works for us.
All right. Let's do that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you, guys. We'll table it for another 30 days. Good luck to everyone. Okay.
The next item is item number 61, Linda Lewis. Jose Perez is the officer, and the case number is CEMHA 2018-00004, item 61.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. Please state your full name and relationship to the property.
Can I have somebody to transmit for me, please?
Okay. Instead in perfect English. I know. That's you tried. You tried. That's okay.
Oh, my name is, no, it's Linda Lewis.
Okay.
Name is Linda Lewis.
Got it.
City of North Miami Code Compliance, Officer Perez. Today we're presenting the case at 12402 Northeast First Court in reference to an exterior accessory to the property that has fallen. The roof of the exterior accessory is falling into place. And reference to the photographs here as evidence.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Lewis.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's from the weekend. It was cyclone now.
This is from the hurricane.
But doesn't this isn't there a health hazard or not health
It's a safety hazard.
safety hazard?
Correct.
And there's nothing holding it up?
It's just leaning forward.
Aren't you afraid that this is gonna fall on top of you or one of your guests or one of your kids?
It's in the back of the house. It's a patio.
I understand, but if it's leaning, that means it can fall.
Ok, mais ce qui ça vous me fait parce que assurance là, par contre, si la couvrir.
I don't know what to do. Is the insurance company going to cover it? I hadn't called at that time.
So you haven't filed a claim.
Moi terele m'dale nan agency an te bon mon numéro pour moi l'assurance. Mais chaque fois moi les
I went to the agency and they gave me a number to call the insurance, and every time I called, I couldn't reach them.
All right, but the hurricane was how long ago now?
More than a year ago at this point.
Okay, so there's a little negligent on her part.
It's not a year yet.
Et à cyclone qui s'est passé dans mois août ou septembre, I don't know.
There was a hurricane that just went by in August, September. I'm not sure.
I think she's referring to the hurricane that passed, but did not hit South Florida.
South Florida.
Correct.
Yeah.
But this has been open since
July, I see.
July, correct.
Ça là depuis juillet.
All right, I think she got, tell her she got her days mixed up or her years mixed up because,
Dernier cyclone qui était passé ici, là, il pas passé.
Non, cyclone qui était passé, gros cyclone, non. M'a songé, gros cyclone, non.
The big hurricane, I don't remember when.
it's gotta be Irma. And Irma was,
September of 2017.
2017.
Correct.
Correct.
C'était septembre 2017, l'année dernière.
So it's been a year. This roof have been leaning for over a year and you haven't done anything. If you had said that, you know, you're waiting on the insurance company, that you file a claim, then that would have been different. And even then, I still would have to make a determination that this is definitely a safety hazard. I don't know what type of roof. Is it like a
It looks like an aluminum roof, but the city definitely moves to having it removed,
Yeah.
if possible.
Qui était dangereux parce que m'pa connaît si sous prend contact avec assurance ou si après
Non, m'pa l'assurance. M'tap try pour m'rele, mais chaque fois m'rele, téléphone non busy, m'quitte li.
I haven't called the insurance. Every time I called, it was busy, so I dropped it.
All right, that's the problem. That's the issue. I don't think she.
And also,
Li pa te kon sa, c'est un vent, gros vent qui vient passer après.
it wasn't like that. There was a big wind that came afterwards, and
Well, that's exactly it. That's the problem because if we have another wind, you know, this is South Florida, and if we have rain and wind and or just pick up your roof, and next thing you know, it might hurt your neighbor, hurt one of your kids, possibly hurt you. So it just cannot stay in this condition.